Hey, how are we doing? So I want to talk today a little bit about a really important skill, which is something that comes up an awful lot in various sessions. And it's a skill that we can all develop. And it's a skill that we all have, but maybe we've forgotten a little bit, or that we don't utilize it often enough for it to become and feel natural and familiar. But it's a skill that has lots of implications for all the various clients that I see. And it's something that comes up time after time after time in sessions. So whether I'm working with somebody who has an anxiety problem, who has maybe social anxiety or generalized anxiety, this is a great skill which helps them. Equally, if I'm helping somebody with the sports performance issue, very much it's a skill which helps them. Equally, I have clients who are struggling to lose weight or struggling to improve their fitness and their health. And again, this is a skill which is very effective and which definitely helps them on their journey. And also clients who have issues of a sexual nature, who are struggling with sexual performance anxiety or with premature ejaculation or anorgasmia. This is again a skill which has proved to be very beneficial for them to develop. Now, when I tell you what this skill is, you might go, oh, yeah, I'm aware of that. But I want you just to take a moment just to really think about how aware you are of that in terms of it being a concept, or how aware you are of it, of actually being something that you do and that you practice. Because we've spent, most of us, a lifetime doing the opposite to what this thing is. And so that skill has become neglected. And I think it has, in part because it's become neglected. It plays into all these other things becoming an issue in the first place. So what is it? You say, what is this amazing thing? Well, this skill is not just because it's just implies that it's only a small thing, when in fact it's a very big thing. It could in fact be everything. It really is the difference that makes the difference in so many things. And that is getting out of your head and into your body. Out of your head and into your body, in terms of your awareness, in terms of your perceptions, in terms of your feelings and your emotions and your thoughts. Now, we spend the majority of our lives in our heads, overthinking, overanalyzing, picturing outcomes that will never happen, planning for events that are not going to occur, worrying, fretting. And we spend less time in our body, experiencing the moment, feeling the sensations. For example, now you're listening to me, you're maybe watching me, and those things are in your awareness. What about the position of your feet? What's in your hands? Which part of your clothes feel most comfortable? Which part of your clothes feels less comfortable? It's assuming you're wearing clothes. Are you sat? If you're sat, can you notice the pressure against your back and the backs of your legs? Where was your awareness of all those things a moment ago? It was there. You were experiencing those sensations in your feet, in your hands, in your body. But you maybe weren't concentrating on them. And because we spend our lives in our heads and we spend less time connected with our bodies, these other issues become a problem. Now, when I speak to clients who are suffering from anxiety or suffering with anxiety or have anxiety attacks or panic attacks, this is often characterized by an overstimulation in the brain. So they're talking to themselves too fast, too loud. They're making bright, scary pictures in their heads of things that are going to happen. They're avoiding potential catastrophe in the future. Or they're just stuck. They don't know where they're going. They don't know what's going to happen next. And they get physical sensations. They get disrupted bellies, they get fast heartbeats. And they see these as a symptom, as a cause and effect. And it is all part of your natural response, your autonomic response to threat, part of your nervous system firing up and becoming alive to give you the energy and the skills you need to survive whatever threat that is that you think you're facing. And so we reject those feelings in the body. We dislike them. We push them aside. They're things that we don't want to experience. When I'm talking with my sports performance clients, for example, imagine a golfer who's coming up and he's preparing to take that perfect swing, to nail that amazing shot. And he's in his head, or she's in her head, and they're thinking about distances, angles, thinking about the direction of the wind. They're calculating, doing sums. How hard have I got to hit this? What's the angle of the swing? Which club have I got? Where's the wind coming from? And they're spending less time connecting with their bodies. And they don't notice how tense their shoulders are, how tight the muscles in the neck are, how tight the grip on the club is. And these things are very important when you get to that higher level. Those things can be the difference, which makes the difference. Again, it's an awareness of the internal sensation of your body, getting out of your head and into your body. Weight loss clients so often tell me that they get hunger pangs, they get cravings for food, for chocolate, for cake. Or they have these feelings, this sensation that they then fill with food, this emptiness inside. And that emptiness, it must be hunger. And quite often that emptiness isn't hunger. It's thirst, it's loneliness, it's boredom, it's emotional neglect. And because we're less aware of our bodies, because we live in our lives in our minds, we're unable to distinguish between those different sensations and those different feelings. And so with weight loss clients, I would encourage them to really analyze and sit with, what is it that you're feeling? Are you hungry? Are you just thirsty? Are you bored? Because too often people eat to feel rather than eating to fuel. And with my sexual hypnosis clients, quite often with premature ejaculation, especially, the issue is that people are in their heads. They're overthinking the moment. And anxiety itself is an overstimulation of the brain. And being overstimulated is the exact thing you're trying to avoid. So when you take a moment to calm your mind, to move out of your mind and to experience the physical sensations in your body, things tend to change. So how do we do that? It's beneficial for all these different populations of clients. I find myself quite often helping people as part of the structure of part of the services I provide, helping people to learn to come out of their heads and into their body. Mindfulness meditation is a great way to begin to do that. Sitting with yourself, feeling what you're feeling, experiencing what it is you're experiencing, and learning to identify the different feelings that you have. Learning to be aware of your body, to be aware of your posture, of your breathing. Breath work is also another amazing avenue into this awareness, because breathing can be something that we do automatically, it just happens, or we can apply intention to it. We can take control. And when we realize that we can take control of our breathing, when we can change things through the breath, that helps us to understand how we can change our body, how we can change the sensations, in our body. And it's also through something called autogenic training, which is where we just practice focusing on various areas of the body, of feeling those sensations, of becoming more familiar with this flesh vessel that you're walking around in, which is so often neglected. So take the time, get out of your head. Especially if any of those issues that I've discussed are important to you or concern you, if you're struggling with any kind of anxiety or depression, any kind of worry or concern where you're spending too long in your head, ruminating, worrying, stressing, overanalyzing, playing out scenarios that may or may not ever happen, rerunning scenarios that happened 10 years ago. These are the symptoms of being stuck in your head. And when you're stuck in your head, you're missing out on so much that's going on around you. When you practice getting into your body, when you practice being more aware of what you're actually feeling, of connecting more with the moment, you start to feel more alive because you are more connected, you're more aware of what's going on around you. You start to notice those sensations in your body. You become more attuned to yourself and how you're really feeling. And that has so many positive benefits. So start where you are and begin. Spend time, even if it's 5 minutes a day to begin with. Put the attention and the intention to it that you're going to sit. You're going to become aware of your body, of how it's feeling, of how it's really feeling, of how you're really feeling. And build that mind-body connection. Because we are one system. Our minds and our bodies are connected. And our thoughts affect our body and our body affects our thoughts. So don't neglect half of it. Become aware of your body. Spend the time. Invest in yourself. And then notice what begins to happen. And let me know. Thanks for listening.